Hey guys, it's Angry Admin here, and we are continue with our home lab building. And today we are going to install DNS. However, I deviate a bit from my concept lab, and I will use a Photon OS VM to run my DNS. So yes, we are ditching Windows for now, and we will see how this will work. Okay, quick recap. In the previous video, which I will link it, we installed two ESXi hosts on VMware workstation. We configure network, so we add a vMotion, and we add the storage. Now it's time to add our DNS. Now, few words before we go ahead. I prepare beforehand configuration file, so it's a config which looks like this, and let me very quickly explain you what's going on here. So as you can see, we have like a tag server, and this is the section for core DNS settings, and the interface 0000 it will force the server to listen to all IP addresses. Now, we allowed IPv4 and new UDP, TCP. Now, the very important thing is access control, that part. So you can specify which of IP can query DNS. And if you leave like me 0000/0 allow, which means that all IPs can query that DNS. But let's say if you want to use only for the one host, like or one ESX, if we add this address, only that particular ESXi will be allowed to query DNS. Next is our domain name, angrysysops.com, and our A records. A records going like this: FQDN, A for A record, and IP address. I also have PTR record for the corresponding A record above. So, as you can see, this is for the ESXi1, ESX2, and so forth and so on. Also, I have already record for our vCenter server and for DNS itself. Now, forward zone is the zone if our query will go outside our local setup. And I use the Google DNSs. So that's for the config. And the next thing we need is our Photon OS VM, and we will be using this OVA file. I will link in the video description where you can download it. Okay, so let's start doing that. If we click on the virtual machines in our ESXi server, then we can go for create register VM, and we'll be deploying from OVF or OVA file. Click next. We add the name for that file, which would be exactly this, so angrysysops DNS AP01. Okay, and now we can just drag and drop our image. Click next. We need to select data store. As we have only local data store, it's nothing to choose from. We have to agree for the license. Click next. And VMware network. That's the only network we have in our lab. Click next and finish. It will take a few moments to complete the action, and I will speed up a bit video and see you once it's done. Okay, our VM has been deployed, so let's click on it and let's have a look. Right, so by default the login is as root and the password is change me, one word. Now the system requires us to change the password, so the current password is change me, and we have to set up new password. Right, and we are in. We are ready to go. As this is DNS, I would encourage you to set up a static IP. Why? Because we will be pointing to that IP our ESXi servers, our vCenter, and we can have different appliances which may use that DNS. So we don't want that IP to be changed. And to do so, we need to create this file. So let's do this. vi etc systemd network, and now it's a 10 static en.network. Press I to insert, and now we do the header called match and name. We are putting our interface ETH0 in my case, and now another header is network, and we adding address. So it's a 192.168.153 and gateway 192.168.1.254. We don't need to add netmask, so we're going escape colon wq to write that file. Yeah. Now we need to change permission so that file can be read. Of course. Yeah. And now we just need to restart services. Systemctl restart systemd network D. All right, and now let's check if we if the IP change. So ifconfig, and we see we have our internet address as a 192.168.153. That means now that we can SSH to that VM. Let's have a look. Why I want to SSH? Because it's easier to copy and paste commands. I don't need to type and make mistakes like with chmod. So let's have a look. Do the cmd and now do SSH as root to our machine. Okay, we put yes as a fingerprint and password. And we are on the machine. And now we are ready to install Unbound, and this program will serve our DNS. But the first, let's update our system. Okay, tdnf update. And it will take a few moments, so I will speed up the video. Okay, and now we are ready for installation. So tdnf install Unbound. Yes, please. And it's completed. So now we need to change configuration, the config file, to suit our needs. So I'll be using the prepared config file before, and that config file will be available on my blog angrysysops.com. The article will follow that video, so you may wait one day or two the most for the article to appear on the website, but you can pause this video and you can write this down from here. Okay, so now let's do the config. I just close the console so we don't see double. So we use a VI again, etc unbound conf, and this is the config file, and this is the place when we are going to put our config. So I'm going down on the server, I press I, and we just hash this one, and I'll make a few spaces. And again, those white spaces are not necessary, but looks cleaner. I agree with that. So as server is already there, so I'm just doing this, copy and paste. Now escape column WQ, and we can check if we did that correctly. There's a command, and that command is unbound check conf. And this is what we want to see. No error. Very good. Now, what we need to do is to ensure that systemd resolved is not occupying the DNS port. Okay, so we will make a small change in the resolve.conf file also. I just prepared that change as well beforehand, so I will share with you in the article, but again, you can pause that video and see what I am doing here. So this is the resolve.com. So I am going to go down and delete everything. I know it's hashed, but for me it's clearer if I delete that. I'm deleting the line by clicking double D, and now I'm going to the end of it, press I for insert, enter, and I will copy my config file. This is it. So DNS is a loopback, follow DNS is 1001, multicast DNS no, and DNS listener no. Now escape column WQ to write this, and very important thing, now we have to restart systemd resolved. So we can do this by the command systemclt restart systemd resolve.service, or you can go and do systemclt stop command and then start. It really doesn't matter. We do it this quicker way. Alright, now once we have this done, it's time to start our Unbound service. Service started, and now let's enable that service so this will survive reboot. It's a systemclt enable Unbound service. Okay, now let's check status of that service, and the status will tell us if there's any error or not. Of course, if I can spell. Perfect, no errors. We see everything is fine. Let's create firewall rule for port 53. So as you see, this is the command. Click accept. Now let's save the change, enter, and just for the good sake measure, I'll just reboot that machine. So now let's see if that's back. Yeah, the server is back. Let's see. We see IP. Okay, and now let's test it. And let's look up. Whoa! And let's look up 192.168. 101. This is our ESXi server, and we are query on our DNS server, and it does work. So you see, DNS is this with this address, and we have a FQDN and we have an IP address, and we can check NS lookup in different way. We just put NS lookup. Now we point the server. It's 192.168.153. So this is our DNS server, and now let's ask for ESX number 2, which is 192.168.1.102, and we have an answer. We can always ask for a name instead. So this is vCenter, which doesn't exist yet. Let's copy, let's paste and ask, and I forget to copy .com. Yeah, and we have it. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to point our ESXi servers to that DNS. And how to do it? We have to go to our iDRAC. As you remember, our iDRAC is a workstation. So, welcome to the iDRAC. You press F2, you put your password, and now we're going to configure management network. And DNS. So primary DNS is 192.168.153. Okay, and press enter, and we can put our suffix, which is sysops.com. Yeah, and escape and click Y to confirm, and we will test that. Okay, so let's test it. I just like get rid of this. So let's test now, and we see that gateway is pinging, but our DNS is taking too long to ping, and I think it failed. And it will fail because I forget to add one thing. You see the resolving name is okay, but pinging is not okay. That's because I didn't allow ICMP traffic on the Photon OS VM, which will fix it very quickly. So let's go back and SSH to our machine again to set up these IP tables. Okay, SSH root 53, and we use this command IP tables, and again output and input traffic, and we save the changes now, and we should be okay. So let's test again. Ping to the gateway, it's going through, and ping to the DNS is going through, and name has been resolved. Now I need to do the same on the second host. So let's go to host number 2. So gateway is pinging, DNS is pinging, and it's resolving the name. Perfect. My admin nation, that would be it for today, for that lesson. I hope that was very interesting. That's something new. We're running DNS on the Photon OS, not on the Windows machines, but I will do the Windows DNS as well, just to show you how to do it, but this will be a very, very last moment. So the next lesson will be about vCenter, and that'll be interesting. So subscribe to my channel, click notification bell, not to miss that interesting vCenter installation process. Leave a like, subscribe, of course, share, and again share with as many people as you can. And don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below the video or chat to me on the Twitter platform. It's @AngrySysOps. Read my blog, angrysysops.com, and stay cool. See you, bye.